Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. How are you today? As I promised yesterday on Facebook, I am going to be showing you how to do these two really beautiful pen and cut Valentines. They're from a designer called Rob and Bob Designs. I don't know if you're aware of them, but what I found out over Christmas is that some, but not all, but some of the images from Rob and Bob Designs are available for free if you have Cricut access. So I have sort of scurried around and looked and found these two, as well as 6 other Valentines that hopefully I'll be able to show you the 6 remaining. Anyway, so as I was doing that, I was thinking, you know, a lot of times people have trouble figuring out how to find these images in Cricut Design Space. So I wanted to show you how I find them. That's going to be the first part of the discussion, okay? And then the second part, and it might have to, depends on how long-winded I am, but the second part will be how to actually cut this image. So what you're seeing is my screen. It's a Cricut Design Space screen, and it is the desktop version of Cricut Design Space. I know a lot of people are still using the browser. And if you are using the browser, I just need to tell you that you should download and install the desktop version if you are used to working on either your laptop or your computer. If you're already using Design Space for your mobile devices, like an iPad, iPhone, or Android device, you don't have to worry about downloading software. But if you are using it, as I am using it, on my desktop, you do need to start sort of moving your habits over to the desktop version. And you can do that when you log in. It will ask you on the screen, do you want to download the software? And then you go through, depending on your device, I don't want to say device, but depending on your, either if you have a Mac or PC, you're going to go through the motions of how you download and install this software. So there's that. So anyway, this is what you're seeing is my screen, and actually I have this is one of, as I mentioned, this is one of 8 designs, and here's another one that I just showed you. Now, where did I get these? Let me show you. So when I am looking for images to make projects to make, what I end up doing is go over to images. It's right over here, right? And it's a tab, and you click on the tab, and you can search for images in one of 3 places, or all 3 places for that matter. And it up here on the right hand side, I don't think it's within screen, but you have 3 choices on the right hand side above the llama where it says images, categories, and cartridges. So if you are looking for images, there are a lot of images in Cricut Design Space, and these are just some of them. And I could see where this would get extremely overwhelming to people in looking for an image. So they do have a search box, though I'll be honest with you, I think searching in the general image area can be a little bit overwhelming. So what I like to do is I like to go into the next grouping. It's called categories, and what's great about categories is that there are just all of these wonderful categories, including for those of you that like to do the t-shirts and stuff. There's a whole section on clothing, and so if you go into that category in clothing, you'll find just a bunch of really ready to be put on a t-shirt designs. You don't have to create it yourself. You can find these designs on Cricut Design Space when you use this cartridge I'm sorry, when you use this category search. So categories also includes all this stuff for like things like anniversaries and weddings, graduations, babies, birthdays, and then also holidays. There's Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Easter, and then we have Valentine's Day. We even St. Patrick's Day, and we have Valentine's Day down here. When you click on that, again, we're going in the category section. It's still a pretty big section. I mean, there's just like every kind of heart you could imagine wanting, and then, you know, different 3D flowers that we could do, and all these symbols. And then there it comes down to things that would go nicely on a shirt or something, and some where we might find is more hearts and hearts and hearts and sayings and what have you, where you can actually build a project from all of these elements. But sometimes you run across things like this, these are pre-made designs, and when you click on them, they bring them, you know, you just have to click on them and it gives you that green box around it, and once you insert that image, it will show up on your desktop. Well, and I think most people understand that, but just starting from the basics, right? So let's go, and we know, let's say you heard me say something about Rob and Bob, and you want to check Valentine's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the search box of this category of Valentine's Day, right? I'm going to put Rob and Bob, and what will show up is all of these wonderful projects that are in Valentine's Day category. And there is our image that we just were talking about. This one here is the love with the pen markings and the hearts and the arrows. And then here also is the forever one, love you forever. And all you have to do is click on those and insert images. Now we already have these here, so I'm gonna make sure I get rid of them. So here you go. Now what you need to know about this is that it's going to come import in. It might be in the wrong size. So I generally put my card set for what's called an A7 card, which is 5x7. But to do cards that are finished size, this is 5x7. There's also A2 size, and you can do whatever size you want to do, obviously. But what you have to be cognizant of is when you're sizing the card, you have to take into consideration the back of the card, so where the fold is. So really what you want to do is the size like this by this. So in this case, because this is a 5x7 card, I want to make sure I size it to be 10x7. Okay, and we do that by, I'm going to see if I can get the screen to show you. Okay, here. So we do that by making sure that that image is highlighted, right? And we're going to go up here to this part right here. It says size. And you'll see they have width and height. And in this case, it's in perfect ratio, okay? So we want to make it a 5x7 card. So we're going to change the width to 10. And what you'll notice is when we do that, the height changes to 7. That's because this is 8. It's kind of a perfect ratio. So it's gone up, if you know math at all. I know I'm not really mathematically whatever, but what I do know about this is that it will always adjust, so that if you change the width, it will adjust the height in ratio of what you change the width to. I hope that is understandable. If you don't want that feature, you do need to go down to this little box with a lock and you would unclick it. And then once you made any changes to the width or to the height, it would only change the width or the height respectively. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do is we're going to change it to 10 by 7. And remember, when you change it by 10 by 7, it's not going to come out that way because you're going to have right down the middle, you have a score line right here. There's the score line. So once you have this in your purview, or you're looking at it, before you go to send it off to be cut and drawn, I want you to look to the right of the card. I only have that one image up there. You see here, this is something you will see once in a while, but you'll see that there is like a little caution sign right here. This is because when they converted to the new software for the desktop, some of the older images are not, they didn't convert completely. I hope that I'm explaining that right, but what you really need to do is, and these tend to, what I've seen them as, they're the drawn part of the image, and so you won't be able to cut this until you correct this problem. So this little caution sign, you're gonna click on draw, and then you're going to go over to line type, which is up here, okay? And you'll see that there's a question mark there. So just click on the question mark, and it's asking you to choose a pen, because for some reason when they did the conversion, the system didn't understand what pen that it was to use when doing this project, and so you have to make that adjustment. Okay, and now if you look over here, that little cautionary sign is not there, and we can go ahead and start cutting and drawing this project. So then you hit continue or cut it, and then you're going to hit continue, and you notice that this project lays out in 3 mats. Here's our first mat, this one here, which, by the way, you can move these around all you like to fit within on your mat. And this is great if you have what I tend to use is 8.5 by 11 inch paper, because I don't like to waste. So 8.5 by 11 fits perfectly for a 5 by 7 card, and that's what I've done is I put 8.5 by 11 on my mat, and I've done that for all 3 sizes, so I don't have to use a big old page of 12 by 12 and then worry about what's left over, because I am using a really large sheet of paper. That's why I really love that 8.5 by 11 paper packs that they have at Michael's. It's like a Recollections brand, and oftentimes you can find it in on sale. So, okay, and here, so the next thing I'm doing is I have a maker, but I'm aware of the fact that a lot of you don't have that. So to do scoring, I use the scoring stylus, right? If you don't have one of these, if you have an Explorer, and even if you have a maker, you probably want to get one of these scoring styluses. And that goes into the clamp A, which is on the left side of your machine. So to change that, if your computer knows that you have a maker, to edit tools, you just click on there and you can choose either the scoring wheel, which I have and I really like, but in this case, because I just kind of don't want to wait and have to put the wheel in and out, I'm just going to use the scoring stylus. When I say don't want to wait, it's because after you do the scoring, and then you start with the pen work, and you see that this has a lot of pen work and then some cutouts. So now it's done the scoring. I don't have to really even think about it. I can do it while I'm talking to you. And now I'm going to put in the pen and start to do the pen. I'm going to move my camera over so you can see. Here is my machine at work, starting with the pen, and it's going to go through and do the entire pen work first. So it already did the scoring, now it's going to do all the pen work, and then it will cut. And in this particular case, I'm not sure if you can see this, but there are certain cuts here that you can see, like for instance the grid from the mat showing through. Those are cuts. So first it's going to do the scoring, then it's going to do the drawing or the pen work, and you'll see the progress in the wheel, and it will go up to 100%. When it's done doing the drawing, it will immediately start on the cutting. It's really that easy. So it's just a matter of, you need to put in the scoring stylus and then the pen, and then allow for the cutting to start to happen. And you have to, the pen's used in, I think it's just used in this top portion. Yeah, the pen is just used in this top portion. Again, this is what we're making. And you see there's a lot of pen work on there. And then what ends up happening is you're going to cut out the inside piece, this red piece, and then the middle layer, that sandwich layer, which is a pink. I chose a pink. Now you can choose anything you like, and I wanted to show you a couple of alternatives. This is same designer, just slightly different design, a little easier, and I decided to use pink with gold paper. Same idea. It's going to do three actual mats. The first one being this white one, right, that has all the pen designs on it, and then the inside is the pink, and then the sandwich between those inside and outside layers is a cut piece of gold. Isn't that beautiful? So that's all this is you're going to take all three of these layers, you're going to cut and draw them all out, and when you're done, you're going to go to your workspace and you're going to glue them together and create your finished product, which is a beautiful card, right? So this is what we're cutting out right now. We're cutting out this. It's here. You see that? And actually, it just finished up all of the pens, and it's starting on, and you can see here it says cutting. It's starting on the cutting, and there's less cutting than there is writing on this project. So we're going to have it go through, and it should be done fairly soon. Let's see. So, and then here are your other two pieces. So there's your white piece, there's your middle pink piece, and there's your inside piece. By the way, you could add a sentiment if you wanted to and have the pen draw that if you wanted to. That's up to you. So you have some like creative flexibility. You don't feel like you have to use the same colors that are suggested or the colors that I use. Use whatever you like. If you're a fan of purple and silver, then use purple and silver. If you want to change the pen from black to gold or whatever you might have, glitter would look really cute too. You can do that. That is the beauty of having a Cricut machine and being creative. You are able to achieve whatever it is that your head can dream of, your heart can imagine. You're able to achieve with this machine. Really just fun and so amazing. So anyway, this is Rob and Bob Designs, and this is one of Rob and Bob's designs. I am going to give you the design space file for this. It's going to be in the description of the video, and you can go ahead and you just take that and you click on that link, and it will open up in Cricut Design Space, and then you can play with the file all you like. If you are already a Cricut Access member, this is a free project for you, and because I've sized them all, you don't have to worry about resizing them. But it's going to include, the file that I'm going to give you is going to include both this one, the one we're working on, as well as this pretty love one, and 6 other designs that hopefully I'm going to be able to come back and show you a little bit later in the week. And that's all there is to it, folks. A little bit of glue, and once you have all these pieces cut out and written out, you just gonna glue them together, and then you have yourself a really beautiful card. Isn't that great? And the front paper, the first piece of the white mat is almost done, so I wanted to wait until the end of that to show you what it looks like. Just give me another second, and here we go. And here it is. It's all done. It's ready to peel off. Here, I just peeled off the outside part, the part that's been and this is how I peel it off. I tend to roll the mat instead of trying to peel off the paper, if that makes sense to anybody. Rolling the mat, it's not going to hurt the mat at all, and it's going to keep your cutout perfectly perfect. And that's all there is today. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Rita, and this is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. Please follow me on YouTube and on Facebook. I do monthly giveaways, and I have my own Facebook groups, and I love talking to all of these wonderful people that are new to Cricut and want to learn all of these terrific ideas and want to figure out how they can put their creativity to use on a daily basis. So you can be one of those people if you aren't already, just simply following and you know, keeping track of me on either YouTube or Facebook or both places. That's up to you. Thanks so much for coming today. You make it a great day.